Thunder handling business, get their 9th straight win, and yes, they clinch a playoff spot, as if we were concerned that that was going to happen for this squad, especially the way that they had started the year. OKC dominant. Banchero goes for 32 points and 10 rebounds and 5 assists in a loss. Desmond Bane goes for 16. A little quiet in that first half, came on a little bit stronger. You get a playoff spot, you lock it up, you know you're the best team in the NBA, or at least you feel like you are. How important is it to just sort of stamp that playoff spot, even though you know you were going to get there?
It's important. You want to knock that off the list of things that you're trying to accomplish, and to be one of the first teams to clinch a playoff spot. It says a lot about their success this season, but as they know, the job's not finished, so they got to continue to keep playing and end the season the right way.
You know, a little bit earlier in the show, Chris, and you heard him, IT likes San Antonio to get out of the Western Conference. Is that more of an indication of how good you think San Antonio is, or more of an indictment maybe on OKC?
No, I think it's a little bit of both, and I think they match up with OKC the best. I'm not saying what they've done to OKC in the season is going to translate to the playoffs, because you never know. But I think they match up the best with OKC, and that says a lot. And then offensively, they're able to go toe-to-toe with the best teams in the league on the offensive end.
Chris, you saw one of the Thunder's losses to San Antonio in person, right?
Yeah, I did.
That was the one in Vegas that you saw. What do you make of what happens in the playoffs based off of what we've seen in the regular season between those two teams?
Well, a lot of times it really doesn't mean much. Yeah. But what I can say is that it can instill some confidence in the team, especially the San Antonio Spurs, right? They have taken a quantum leap that we didn't see coming, right? They beat OKC in a short span late last year 3 times. And you had to give SGA props, because he said at a certain point, you got to tip your hats and understand that they're the better team. And the reason why San Antonio has so much success against OKC, because they have the personnel to match up with OKC's group. Now, there are not a lot of teams that have that personnel. Every team can't implement the same scheme and come out with similar results. You got to have the personnel, you got to have the talent to do so. And so that's why I understand why IT saying San Antonio is his pick to win it all, because they definitely have the depth. And I know we talk a lot about Wemby, but those guards out there, offensively and defensively. So there are really no weaknesses on that San Antonio Spurs squad.
Okay, I do want to circle back, and I know we showed everyone the Pistons highlight. They beat the Wizards. They do it without Cade Cunningham, back spasms. I know you're going to be working the phones later today for us, and certainly tonight, about some sort of update regarding him. If there's an extended period of time here where Cade is not able to play, how concerned are you with the Pistons being able to hold on to that 1 seed?
Very concerned. I mean, just because they haven't been without Cade Cunningham for that much time. So hopefully this injury isn't nothing serious where he has to, sit for multiple games, because obviously he's needed, and his production and what he brings to the table is needed. I think he allows others games to come to them easier when he's on the floor. And if you ask the Detroit Pistons, they'd rather have him on the floor than off the floor, especially to end this season the right way, as Boston's just right there in that 2nd seed in the East.
Chris, anything stand out when we were kind of tracking this game throughout the course of the evening? I know, once again, we showed the highlight, and Duren obviously goes off. Like, they're capable. Washington's obviously had some struggles this year, though.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it, some struggles. When you look at Detroit, obviously, IT said it earlier in the show, is that they got to go down low, feed the big man. That's what you do. You don't come in trying to do everything. Don't come in trying to be Cade Cunningham Jr. or Cade Cunningham III. That player does not exist on the Detroit Pistons. So what do? Let's simplify things. Let's feed our big. Let's get some dribble penetration. Let's try to draw some defenses. Let's get it up. Let's keep it real simple. And they were able to do that against Washington.
I was looking at the standings there. We've got a 4-point cushion between Boston and Detroit, obviously the Pistons being that 1 seed. I bring up Boston because yesterday I'm watching the game against the Suns. Tatum goes for 21. I know Jalen, who we kind of highlighted a little bit earlier, exploded for 41 in this game. There's certain, and I don't know if you obviously played and you got an astute eye for some of this stuff. Tatum's movement out on the floor, like, my God, like yesterday watching this, it didn't even look like he'd been banged up at all this year.
Yeah, he's making the Achilles injury surgery look like it's not a major career, ending surgery. He's done an amazing job. Like, he hasn't lost a step. I think the only thing you could say is his rhythm isn't all the way there, and his efficiency isn't where it needs to be. but like his movements are there on both sides of the floor. He's able to sit down on defense, take hits on the defensive end, and offensively, he's able to make plays with one or two guys guarding him. I was like anxious to see if he was able to, explode off the dribble, off the catch, and he's able to do all those things. Maybe not to the ability he's used to, but from the eye test, he hasn't lost a step.
Let's not stop the praise at Tatum. DeJounte Murray has come back and looked really good as well.
You know where he's from?
Yeah, from up there, Pacific Northwest. Up there.
You know what school he went to? Okay, he went to University.
He went to Washington. Yeah, he went to
He's
Washington.
another guy that's showing that the Achilles surgery and injury isn't as bad as the world thinks it is. And then the next guy coming back would be Halliburton and then Dame Lillard.
Yeah.
And if we see these guys coming back, which are guards coming back, guards and forwards coming back and playing exceptional, it's going to say something about their rehab. It's going to say something about that injury.
Yeah.
And people are not going to be as scared of an injury like that when these guys are coming back and showing no signs of slowing down.
And let's remember, I know IT not leaving this out on purpose. It takes work doing that rehab.
Oh, yeah.
Like let's put that out there. These guys had to work their tails off to get to a point where they can be here today and playing at a high level. So that injury is still a devastating injury.
Oh, yeah.
You can't, the rehab, you have to really attack it.
But you got to attack it, like you said, just like they did. Those are 4 guys that are like workhorses.
Yeah.
They really appreciate the grind. And if you even if you listen to Lillard, you can listen to Tatum and all those guys that had that injury, like mentally it was challenging more than physically for the most part. And I think they're passing that hump, and he's doing an amazing job. You got to give a shout out to not only himself, but the training staff and whoever worked with him to get him to this point, him and DeJounte Murray, of showing signs of not coming off a major injury as an Achilles.
Yeah, it's sort of wild. I mean, we mentioned this for Murray, just personal tragedy, getting back. I mean, if you're rooting for a dude, and I get it. Look, if you're a fan of his, you're going to be rooting for him anyway. But, just neutral parties, just what he's had to overcome aside from the injury is truly remarkable. A lot of death in the family, and it's definitely a tough run for him. Landscape in that Eastern Conference, though, looks a whole lot different. I know there was some hesitation even on this couch about Jason Tatum, whether it would be worth coming back and what that would mean.
I was one of those guys that was questionable about it, and then to see how, and he's coming back to a situation where he doesn't have to be the man. He can really spot up and shoot, attack closeouts, make open shots, and allow the game to come to him. And that says a lot about not only the players around him, but the coaching staff putting him in position to.
The first interview after that first game, he talked about some of the lonely work, because you would mention it, and Chris, I think it's a great point. You didn't just roll out of bed, coming out of the surgery, just kind of hanging out.
I think you're talking. You're talking too much. Yeah, I think you're talking too much. Thank you, Caesar.
Time 89 here. We got an update on that one a little bit later for you. Alvarado making the start. Remember, no Jalen Brunson dealing with the ankle. Buckets.
Small guys got to stick together.
16 points, 10 dimes. First start as a Knick for Alvarado. Josh Hart had himself a game, boys.
Crazy.
5 threes, a season high for him. Been there, done that for Cat. Step back triple.
Have we ever did a all-time starting 5, 8 and under team?
Nah, because I wouldn't be on that.
Okay.
Nah.
For 5.
I don't know who's going to be on that one, not me. You ain't going to take away my edge. No.
That might be my favorite moment that we've had here on the association, to be honest with you. Because immediately I'm like, oh, Betsy, of course you'd be on that. Like, what are you talking about?
Those guys are small.
It was like, makes some sense to me when you frame it that way, IT. By the way, Josh Hart, 33 points for him. That is the second most that he's had in his career. Previous high was 44, but most he's had in a Knicks uniform. So
shout out to Jay Hart.
Bucket getter here. I like IT.
5'10". I'm going IT.
Thank you.